Welcome back to the 100% Space Exposure Challenge. Against all odds, we have managed to secure oxygen, water, and even started farming for food. In this episode, it is about time to start preparing for our goal, the Great Escape. The Great Escape, which is breaching the temporal tear, requires colonizing a few other planets, finding the temporal tear opener, and also charge it with red bolts. Therefore, we should work on scouting the star map and also finding a good source for generating red bolts. My starting planet is Desolate, and the nearest practical radiation source is on the teleporter planet, the radioactive ocean. And that's why I want to start working on developing the teleporter planet. But as explained before, the teleporter planet is also 100% space exposure, and even without starting oxylite. Going in with the teleporter would be even harder than landing with a rocket. But for challenge purpose, we are going for the teleporter. I don't use Atmo suits much in a short-term colony, but in this challenge, even using an Atmo suit to first go into a teleporter is risky. Using oxygen mask would be really insane. Maybe you could give it a try if you really want to give yourself a super challenge. Finally, we have the water sieve research. Our washroom will be coming up soon. So, I'm debating how to design the bathroom loop. Usually, you should use some methods to not dump the excess water back to a pool in order to prevent double pumping and wasting power. But for this run, I cannot think of much use for water except for researching. So I guess just dumping it back to the pitcher pump pool is fine. We're not really planning to pump a large amount of water into pipes later on. And oops, I've placed the wrong bridge priority. I need to fix it now. I will be sharing Jackals to get some reed fiber, but I'm not expecting to use a lot of suits for the challenge goal, so I'm not planning to breed them either. I'll just find the existing Jackals and share them. Not going to even tame the Jackals. Crafting an Atmo suit requires 2 fiber. Repairing needs 1 fiber. Sharing a Draco once will give us 2 rich fiber, and even wild Dracos can lay an egg before they die. So if we manage to find 3 Dracos and 2 eggs that grow up in time, that would be 10 fibers. And if we only plan to make 2 suits, that would be enough fiber to repair them for 6 times. But the problem is, with the current shearing station placement, the room would not be stable because it could also be a power room. So we have to separate the shearing station from the battery. And we still don't have enough mill wood. Need at least 20 mill wood for 4 dupes. So, before we actually go in, I want to talk about why exactly is using the teleporter dangerous in this challenge. Normally, the teleporter would have more than 10 cycles of free food for 1 dupe, free oxygen atmosphere, and something that is emitting oxygen. For example, polluted water or polluted mud or oxyfern. That means, in a normal play, you can have a dupe go in unprepared and empty-handed, and it can still easily survive for 10 cycles. For my particular starting planet, it has polluted water and oxyfern, but apparently, all the oxygen and the polluted water is gone. And oxyfern has no use because the CO2 is also gone. So right after we go in, we really start with absolutely zero oxygen. And initially, we're unable to bring anything because that requires unlocking the supply teleporters on both planets first. The only thing we can carry there is the suit that the dupe is wearing. So the best we can do is to have the dupe go in with a fully charged Atmo suit and hope we can start producing oxygen before the Atmo suit runs out. While I'm waiting for research, I plan to use one of my favorite buildings, the canister filler, to store some oxygen into bottles. I don't have a specific plan where to use it yet, but it could be useful in many scenarios. Since this run is probably still going to last for quite a few cycles, it's still nice to have refrigerators to store some food. One little trick about the exosuit forge is that it doesn't produce any heat while being used, so you can safely place it inside a complete vacuum, even in a regular game. This is handy when you first land on a new planet. Oops, some of my tubes are stuck because of the falling sand. That's really close to my base though, so I could save them in time. But I'll probably have to start using oxygen masks pretty soon. You might be wondering, how did I build a smart battery without using a rock crusher or a metal refinery? This is because there is free lead in the oil biome, and in this planet, the desert lands, the oil biome is really close to the base. It normally also comes with free crude oil, but the oil is also all sucked out. Now I'm just digging up for more algae and hopefully find some more mud roots. And the most important, once I actually got into the teleporter planet, the first imminent threat is suffocation, and I have to prioritize sending oxygen from home. So I have to activate the supply teleporter input and have everything ready on the home planet side before I embark the teleporter. Now I'm trying to design my oxygen mask docks and checkpoints. The ladder is a bit close to my base, so it is a little bit awkward. But I have came up with this design. It looks kind of weird, but the very first dock can be misaligned and placed lower than it should be. In this way, the checkpoint will still be applying to these docks, but the air corridor is just one tile in height, so it's easier to create a liquid lug with just one type of liquid instead of two. This also works with Atmosuit docks, but as far as I know, it only works on the first dock next to the checkpoint that is lower than it should be. If it's other docks that are misaligned, or if the first dock is misaligned to the top, then there's a chance that they won't function properly. But you can still give it a try if you want to make your own design. In some design, the docks might complain that there's no checkpoint, but some of the complaints would disappear after save and reload, and that usually means the design actually works. This is an example design you can use to not only allow misaligned docks, but also allows you to kind of make a vertical checkpoint to save some space when you want to climb up or down right after the checkpoint. I've also not researched gas filter or automation for gas pipe sensor yet. There are various smart designs like the power-free mechanical filter, but I kind of want to test if I can just put the pump in somewhere high and be able to prevent pumping in most of the carbon dioxide. I will disable auto repair in my oxygen mask docks and see how long would it take for them to actually be broken. So, the oxygen mask docks are functioning properly, and this should make their digging to the supply teleporter much faster. Now I'm also planning to make a rocket inside my base, so I can scout the star map more easily. A telescope that is placed inside the rocket are always considered to have line of sight and can function properly. This planet, the Desolands, not only have free lead, and also free refined iron near the base. And that's why I often suggest it as a great starting planet in normal gameplay. I plan to keep some oxygen in both of the teleporter rooms, so dupes going in and out can have oxygen to breathe right away. And yeah, this time I'll use liquid lux. It's not possible to build a telescope inside the small space module with the initial layout. I will have to deconstruct the rocket control station to fit the telescope. Alright, now we have both the teleporter room filled with oxygen and with a drip of water for liquid luck. It's not easy to fit a telescope in this small room and also have power, especially without the Bionex DLC. But this is not the rocket that will actually launch, so it does save some space. The teleporter room spawned with some free back walls. But why is there a hole? No wonder the gas keeps leaking. I'm about to go in the teleporter now. The only preparation I could make is to have a full charged Atmos suit that is relocated close to the teleporter, and some oxygen inside pipes already waiting in the home side of the supply teleporter. And Turner is the chosen one. Here we go. As you can see, there is no oxygen and no oxylite at all in the new planet. All the oxygen we got is the Atmos suit Turner is wearing. And I'm doing something crazy. I'm defrosting a new duplicate. Welcome Hassan to my colony. But somehow, Hassan spawns with buttless stomach. Oh well. Now Turner will drop his suit and travel back to home planet. The suit will be used by Hassan instead, and he will stay there for quite a while. A duplicate that is defrosted will come with 3 skill points already available, so we can immediately make him learn field research, which is required for activating the supply teleporter, and hard digging, which is required to dig granite. I initially thought this is not that risky, The supply teleporter is actually quite close to the teleporter. But I have made a mistake. This one is the input supply teleporter, and it has no use right now. What I actually need is to activate the output teleporter. The correct supply teleporter I'm looking for is further down there. Hopefully, I have enough time to reach there and activate. Apart from being crazy, there is a reason I choose to defrost another duplicate in this planet before I get even any oxygen. Both dupes in the defrost action will get a buff called Motivated by Friend, and it is a big morale and stress buff for quite a few cycles. And this means the duplicate that stayed in this new planet can be prevented from having stress issue even when it learns 3 skills without having any rooms or food for morale. This output teleporter room has some back walls, but also has a lot of holes. I will have to activate the teleporter, build a gas vent, and fill up the holes with back wall. No, this is not the time to eat yet. The task for bringing in oxygen has not complete yet. I will have to change the schedule to call Hassan back to work. And I will probably make him make a mess for once, to make some polluted water for liquid luck. So, we've got the oxygen flowing in from home, when the Atmos suit has about 1/3 of oxygen left. We have once again survived the initial suffocation crisis in the new planet. But the duplicate teleporter needs time to recharge, and it can only be used after another 5 cycles. This means Hassan will be on his own to survive in this planet for at least 4 cycles. Please subscribe and check out what progress we can make in the next video.